How do I look? Look good for the camera. Even though a little bit dwarf. Let me see. Yeah, it looks alright. Yeah, let's see who's here. Who wants to be bedazzled? I'm gonna try to speak very high English tonight, you know. So, if you're ready to be bedazzled, stick around with me. If you're bumping on me on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Hey, Azania, you got a beautiful name, man. We just gotta say it. User Jin, Connie. So tonight, or this week rather, I started earlier on this morning. I have a very fascinating topic. The topic is you are food. Ahoy! You know, Moha, we don't have a problem. People are having their disprints, people are having their cokes, people are having their negativity. So everybody's walking around with some vice of some sort, you know. It's all about self-acceptance. But nonetheless, I see you. I have a book here exactly for people like you. You know, I came prepared. Get yourself this book, Aromatherapy. This one here, it's a practical handbook by Carol McGilvery and Jimmy Reed. They speak about the aroma, the smell of things. How does it affect you? You still remember the smell of your mom baking cakes? Remember, we used to be playing outside and you'll get the smell, you know. Even if your mom is no longer around or your grandmother is no longer around, the smell, it's still there. It's imprinted in your genes. So there's a power in the aroma. I don't know why I'm speaking about that, but nonetheless, if you hear, you're ready to be baffled, to be confused. And I want you, when you're coming in on these channels, I want you to relax as far as possible. This is not a church. What's my take on The Power of Now? Beautiful book. Woo, woo, woo. Beautiful book. I fucks around with it. I love it. This is not a church. This is not a philosophical debate. This is not me trying to play Socrates. No, we just here to unwind the whole day. As to what happened the whole day, I'm going to be here for like 50 minutes. And don't ask me a lot of personal questions, you know. I tend not to answer. But nonetheless, if you're here, and you're here for the first time, please subscribe or follow the brother. You can ask your questions. You can paste up your comments. Even if you feel like you want to judge me, follow me nonetheless. You know, we'll. Hey, Rospa! Follow me nonetheless. We'll reconcile those things later. You will learn. Now I'm speaking to the people that are on the journey. You will learn that the more and more you get deeper into your journey, the more and more you advance into your journey, the physical doesn't mean much anymore. Words don't mean much anymore. You now start listening to the energy, you know, the intentions. This is what Honorable Elijah Muhammad used to say. Don't listen to what I'm saying, not how I'm saying it. A lot of us have been lost in instruments like the churches, the buildings, the gurus, the prophets, the bishops, and we've missed out the message. Because we think somebody that has to speak about intellectual concepts, they have to wear a three-piece suit. We're still stuck in the outside things. This is what Paul warns us against in the Bible. Be careful for the carnal way of doing things. Carnal way meaning your left-hand brain, your conscious brain, your five senses brain, your 2%. These are not my numbers, by the way. These are the neuroscientist numbers. Your conscious mind, which is your left-hand side, your brain, your male brain, it's only 2% of your total existence. The rest, right-hand brain, subconscious mind. That's where your right-hand brain operates in. Hey, you can just see how am I. I'm blaming it on this that I'm having here, you know. It's just water, by the way. But nonetheless, one of the things that I have to say about the water before I can move on, yeah, you know, I'll give you some few reading materials, childhood trauma, so that you can check them out. But I'll the first guy that comes to mind is listen to a lot of neuroscientific talks. The guy that I'll vote for or I'll root for is Dr. Joe Dispenza. You probably know him or have heard of him. He breaks it down very well, you know, as to how this and that and that. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Stick around. I'm only starting, eh? So I was saying that, yeah, check out his books as well, particularly the one of You Are the Placebo. It's pretty much one of his old books, not this new hype of supernatural. There's a book of his, he calls, the name of it is You Are the Placebo, you know. So he takes you through down the nitty-gritties of how the brain is structured. So, what was I talking about? Who's here? Let me just relax and let the people come in through. Because I'm touching here, touching there. It's probably because I'm way too excited. I tend to be like this when I get fascinated about the topic. That's why I have my notes. But if you don't mind me being extraneous like that, because at some days you might hear me speaking about this. At some point you might hear me speaking about this as if like it's pretty much misplaced. It's not. I say this because everything is energy. Your thoughts, your emotions, the color, the food, your car, your degree, your name, your date of birth, your thoughts, your emotions, your husband, your children, your neighbor, your boss, the phone, the TikTok, the Facebook, everything is energy. It just differs in forms. So when you hear me being like that, I'm playing zigzag on you deliberately, mainly because some of the subjects I deliberately just touch and don't deliberate on. Because my aspiration coming onto this platform is to try to ignite something in you to go do your own research. Because we're sitting where we're sitting right now in terms of judging, hating, anger, for no reason, because not all of us have invested time in researching matters ourselves. I speak about even Christians. You've probably been a Christian for the rest of your life, but you haven't actually even finished the Bible. This purely, amongst other things, shows the lack of interest of us doing the research on our own. We like taking things from people. And we complain when they charge us. Like now, if somebody was to charge you for this kind of type of information, you'll start complaining. Particularly the conscious people. The so-called conscious people, they are the stingiest people ever. You know? The so-called quote-unquote conscious people, if you want to be broke, go the conscious route. But it's fun nonetheless, you know. Masosibo, hello. This is where I applaud the pastors and the clergies. They make you pay the tithe, not necessarily because it's necessarily a requirement, but in a way you paying them, because everybody wants to get everything for free. Even now I'm asking for simple likes. Nobody wants to give me likes, but you're sitting there with your notebook, you know. You know, it cracks me all the time, but it's fun nonetheless, eh? Fuck, people are lazy, man. Yeah, that's why they get scammed. I mean, like, for all that I care, tonight I'm going to be speaking about the emotional self, your emotional self, your limbic system, your second brain. I'm going to be quoting and dropping a whole lot of different forms of terms and concepts. For all that I know, if you listen to me and take what I say for the 100% truth, what if I'm lying? You know? I mean, like, what if I'm here just having up whatever that I'm having, fooling around with you? People don't want to read. People just want to judge. No, what are you drinking? No, why are you looking like that? Bruh, to start with, have you checked in with yourself today as to how do you feel? Which is what we're speaking about tonight, emotions. How do you feel? Forget your husband, forget your partner, forget your boss. I'm not saying permanently, but a little bit zone out. Sit with yourself. Not the cashier, not somebody who just cut across you in traffic, not your ex sending you a message. No, you just relax, sit by yourself. How are you? Do you even know? How do you feel? Mostly, a whole lot amount of time we spend it judging other people, complaining and gossiping and slandering and whatever that you're doing to people. How are you? Are you good? Put the TikTok aside, put the book aside. How are you? And you know, this that you say, this is so precise because part of the gist of why I started this platform is to speak about healing. You know, we need to heal. And I know this sounds simple. You probably have a PhD and you have an MBA in biotech. Me speaking about forgiveness, you feel like you over it. No, you're not. You know, just because you are a scientist and you have all these degrees and a big house and you have the most beautiful teeth and a beautiful body, forgiveness, it's an element that all of us have to embrace. And the forgiveness of self. I tell you why a lot of people don't want to check in with themselves. Beside what my sister just said here, but I'll tell you why people don't want to check up with themselves. They are afraid what their heart is going to tell them. That's why not a lot of people can stand being by themselves. People always want people around, you know. You're home alone, you call your friends. You always want to have people around you. That shows you that you are actually scared of yourself. But it's not a good thing to say because you can always brush it off with your big English, you know, filters on Instagram, pretending that you're fine, and we know that you're not. Yeah, we're very distracted. That's why I prefer a couple of distractions, you know, that actually sedate me. One of them is, I was actually talking about the aromatherapy earlier on. You should try this. These are oils. There's nothing taboo about them. You just need to read, you know. They all form part of aromatherapy, stress relievers. You need to find your anchor point. You need to find what actually rocks your boat. If music rocks your boat, get yourself an instrument. But then, you can't be doing what a lot of people are doing. Because somebody is meditating, you don't necessarily need to meditate because meditation might not work for you. As it is, meditation doesn't work for everybody. I know, my wife, I've been talking about this meditation shit for the longest. I think since 2014 I've been talking about the same thing. But my wife don't fuck around with meditation because she tells me straight, I need to figure some few things out before I can speak to this heart. Because remember, what you think you forgot or what you think you swept under the rug, You pretending that you are okay with that molestation, with that breakup, with the death of your loved one. That shit is actually something that is growing in your closet. It's a monster that every time when you think about it, you feed it and it grows. When it comes, you might not be ready. That's why I speak about healing, trauma. And this thing, it's a very complex subject. I laugh about it, not necessarily because it's funny, but it has a bit of a humor in it, in as much as it can be dangerous. It has a bit of a humor in it to say, your biggest mistakes, your so-called biggest mistakes, your so-called biggest misfortunes, they are actually your gold. That's a fun part of it. But now, we don't want to face that part because, hey, our past can be traumatic for a lot of us. I mean, to heck with speaking about the past, the present as is horrifying. This guy speaks about it in this book, Think and Grow Rich. He says in here, your biggest obstacle, it's your price. You think now what you're going through, you want to kill yourself to end it? You can't be like that, man. Stick around. Find out, like, what are you trying to teach me? Because here's where I'm coming from with this. I'm actually trying to lay a little bit of ground as to how we can consider forgiving ourselves, And the more and more you forgive yourself, the more and more you can meditate. Because meditation, basically, it's a form of you acquainting yourself with yourself, knowing yourself better. Meditation is not this thing that we make in these days, postures. No, meditation is a state of being aware. You can meditate while you're walking, you meditate while you're talking, you can meditate while you're eating. But now a lot of us have been taught, and I blame this YouTube. We've been taught that meditation is that act. You need to stay by your corner. You stick there by the corner, you do your meditation shit. But now if the house is noisy, everybody is making noise, kids are playing around, your mom is calling you, your dad is calling you, everybody's actually wanting a piece of your life. What you need to understand is you can still be in a state of meditation. I learned this from Zen Buddhism. The whole story of the Tao. You are the way that you need to travel. You are the pathless path. You are the gateless gate. You are the all. That's what meditation will help you with. But now, how it starts, you keep around, because these thoughts sometimes they can mess you around. These thoughts can mess you around sometimes. You might think that you're not worth it. Who told you that? Who told you that you're not beautiful? Let's forget about who told you. Why did you agree? This is a Mexican thought. It comes from the books that I love so much. They come from the Toltec traditions. They released two books that I love so much. They are called The Fourth Agreement and The Fifth Agreement. These are they come from the mythological stories of the Toltecs, the Mexicans. Get yourself those books. If you don't have them, you can join in the WhatsApp group. I think I shared some of them a while ago. But hey, let's get back. And then there was light. And it lit me. It lit me. So yeah, let's then go on. Before I start losing my bearings, I told you, you know that Buddha's song. So it's busier with me, but I'm gonna try to cover as much as I can. By the way, I'm gonna be taking this to YouTube. In case you have to go somewhere else, you can catch it on YouTube. So meditation, like you saying here, childhood trauma it's an act of becoming an observer. There's a lot of things that we need to pay attention to that a lot of us are not willing to open up this conversation. These are the thoughts that were ushered and echoed by the Gnostics. Gnosticism, you would know, or the Gnostics, these are the people that inspired your Bible. The Bible that you have in your house, it was inspired by the Gnostics. And yeah, the Dead Sea Scrolls, this is that story of the Nag Hammadi, the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of blah blah blah. You know the whole story if you've been researching this. Just that now I don't have time to be delving too much into it. I'll try to emphasize a little bit of a point. So you would know that the Gnostics tell us that if a human body, this that you call the body, it's an illusion. This is the matrix. This is what, according to Hinduism, Sanskrit, it's called the Maya. It's the creative illusion. This came to be when your higher self decided to become a lower self. So a human being is a lower entity. If this is too much, I will leave it at that. Let me expound on my point. Most of your thoughts, most of what you're getting worried about, most of your fears, most of your confusing thoughts, they are not yours. In actual fact, I can go as much as saying this. If you're looking at it from the Gnostic's point of view, none of the thoughts are yours. This obviously is going to start sounding a little bit confusing if you've been brought up in a belt of classical physics, Newtonian physics. You know, all that you know is matter. You only fuck around with things that you can see, touch, smell, taste. There's an existence that is beyond your five senses. That shit is so mind-blowing. And if maybe perhaps you feel like you're getting a little bit lost, study a little bit of cosmology, cosmogony, as to how the world came about. Study a little bit of astrophysicists. You know, they'll tell you about the Big Bang if you're trying to make sense of it. But the Gnostics knew this even before we trying to extrapolate it now and coming up with quantum theories, string theories, chaos mathematics, blah, blah, blah. This is what the Gnostics knew way before, to say that your true you, your real you, it's non-physical. It's not seen. What keeps you alive does not die. This obviously, this shit goes. This shit gets sick. It gets drunk. It judges. It gets stingy. You don't even want to bless the brother. This thing is just according to Buddhism, especially when you're going a little bit Maya Buddhism, they call this lila. This is a creative illusion. You form it with your thoughts. Where do your thoughts come from? It's that issue of the observer observing the, you know. And by the way, that issue of the observer observing the observer, or the observer observing the observed, it's one of those interesting koans. But for it to make sense, particularly if you're coming from the West, it will start making sense if you're looking at the world of quantum physics, the world of quantum mechanics. That is, you're becoming a little bit antithetical to classical physics. Instead of you investigating the matter, you investigate what makes matter to be the matter. Mind over matter. I told you tonight I'm speaking very deep English. Very. I'll blow everything here. But nonetheless, I'm just having fun. I hope you are too. I don't know what you're having. I'm having Pac-Man. I'm here until 7 o'clock, I think. And let's see how far we can hear. How far, oh, you hear me? I'm glad you hear me. I hear you too. So, it then turns out that this true self of ours, the breath, your true self, your soul, your divine spark. Some people call it Kundalini. Some people call it Chi. Some people call it vital life force. Some people call it some people call it Feng Shui. This is what actually animates you. But now this cannot be seen with the physical eyes. For some reason, this is the education that people thought they should live out. And I don't understand. Maybe it was the mistake, in case they did not reveal it to us, particularly the people that have had an enormous amount of schooling. I mean, like if you have degrees, you have to understand, you did 12 years of excruciating, waking up 7 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock for you to go to get the degrees and stuff, and not to be told that this is just the 2%. I think you'll be mad. But instead of being mad, have fun with it, man. Play around with it, man. No. Yeah, I'm good. So let's get to business. So then what happens is your true self. This is according also to the Egyptian mythology. Egyptian mythology, by the way, just a little bit of geography 101. Egypt is in Africa. Egypt is not in Europe. Egypt is in Africa. That's just geography 101. I don't know who needs to hear this. Before Egypt was to be what it's called today, this obviously it morphed into different names. One of the names that we can recall, particularly during the pre-dynastic period, before things got recorded, it was the land of Kerme, the land of darkness. Kerme, this is where the whole thing of chemistry, alchemy has been taken from. Everything in civilization came as a result of Egypt. I'm not here though to defend that. It's just my opinion. If you know better, obviously tell me about other people. But the nice thing about this platform, you don't necessarily have to believe anything that I say, Who would believe somebody that looks like me? I know I won't. Imagine me, I bump across somebody that looks like this and they're talking about these things. Probably I won't. With that being said, I'm saying please don't believe whatever that I'm saying. I'm just a guy just pushing up time here, having fun. But if you find this to be useful, take a piece or two and leave what you don't really need. Or don't take anything. But give me the likes, please. I like the likes. They satisfy my ego. By the way, speaking of the ego, there's a movie that I need to tell you guys about. This movie was released 2024. I think 2024 or late 2023. The name of the movie is Appendage. 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 Something that transfixes itself on you. Something that grows out of you. It's an appendage. Appendage. I don't know, maybe perhaps I'm pronouncing it wrong, but this is not really my language, so fuck it. But the name of the movie is Appendage. In this movie, this is a very interesting concept. This movie speaks about what we're talking about this week. You watch this movie, you wouldn't even need to come and listen to me what I'm going to be saying. This movie shows you clearly that when you're feeling negative, something is feeding on your energy. Alchemy. Oof. 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 Ah. So, but let me not get ahead of myself. Tonight we're speaking about the emotions. So, the reason why we need to distance ourselves from our thoughts is because there's a little bit of a contradictory between your true self and your not so true self. Some people have postulated terms, obviously, to try to make this issue make sense. Like psychoanalysts, when you look at Carl Gustav Jung, when you look at William James, when you look at Sigmund Freud, obviously, these are the guys that came up with the concept of the ego and the shadow. Your id, your ego, and your super mind or your supramind. This is from Sigmund Freud, of course. Where do you watch the movie? Hey, no, I don't know. Maybe what? Box office? What else? I don't know. The name of the movie is Appendage. Get yourself that movie. Oh. It shows you that every time when you think about your past, you feed in your past. Every time when you think about pain, you feeding the pain. And the pain grows. And now you want to change from overthinking about your past. You now listen to people like us, or you reading books like Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, or a whole amount of people out here that are speaking about the case of consciousness. You now all of a sudden want to stop thinking about your past. That is not going to stop just like that. Because remember, for your whole life, you've been feeding up this beast. Anger, past. Now all of a sudden, you start reading a book, or you listen to Joe Dispenza and you think you are empowered, or you listen to a little bit of Les Brown, Sadhguru, T.D. Jakes. All of a sudden you want to be a positive person, but you find that you can't do it. There's a science behind that. It's called neuroscience. Your brain does not stop habits just like that. You somehow going to have to stop feeding this. But you can't stop feeding it while you're still with it. That's why I'm saying to the people, let that past go. I know they hurt you. I know what you did was mistakes. Hey, here's a spoiler alert. You're still going to make more mistakes. How about this? Forgiving yourself. Have you tried it? Or it just doesn't feel right. Your pastor told you not to do that. Just try it. Tonight, when you go to bed, say, fuck it. With whatever that I've done, I love myself. Good night. And now you'll see when you wake up in the morning, you're going to be like, what just happened? That's then now you start embracing yourself. And meditation can help you with that. Shit takes long though. Yeah, what do you think about... What? Yeah, energy fall. This stimulus, what you're talking about, this is a pure, I'd say, grade 5, physical science. Energy follows awareness. Energy follows motion. Energy follows attention. So now, if I want to... It's dark right now. It doesn't mean like ESCOM is off. ESCOM is still on. But I need to take ESCOM, channel it to my ring light, so that it can be on. So, what did I do? I didn't create new energy. Energy was in existence. By the way, there's a physical law that says energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It only changes forms. So if you always... yeah, I know. That's why I laughed about it. I know that your ego's gonna be like, fuck it, bro. We still have a debit order that is bounced. We still have a court case that we need to attend. We still have health results that we need to pick up. But I'm here to say to you, go read Viktor K. Frankl. Viktor Frankl. The name of the book is Man's Search for Meaning. It's all about what happened in Auschwitz camps, the Jews, the Nazis, you know, the whole Holocaust. Whether it happened or it didn't, it's not my story. But there's a very good concept out of that book. This guy, he calls this concept logotherapy. Logotherapy is you distancing yourself from your own shit. I think it was Deepak Chopra who said, you cannot solve your problems with the same thoughts that caused your problems. So at some point you're going to have to distance yourself. You can't do it because you and your problems are somehow like same WhatsApp group. The first story obviously is that issue of meditation. You start becoming aware of my whole existence has been inspired by my pain. I'm here where I am because of my pain. I've been projecting it to other people instead of me healing my pain. It takes you back to that saying, hurt people, hurt people. This is the power of the emotions. And if you don't have the emotional intelligence and you claim to be conscious, oh, you fucked. You know? And this goes for everybody, whether you're conscious or you're not, whatever consciousness is, because these days these terms are just being used very loosely. You know, we have people that are woke. You listen to 16 hours worth of Joe Dispenza and you all of a sudden feel like you opening up a YouTube channel. Yeah, man, that's just me being naughty. What I'm trying to say is, life teaches you by experience. And the way how the experiences get filtered to you is through your emotions. Your emotions is the way how your true self is speaking to yourself. How do you feel? Why are you so angry? Why are you so angry? Hey, how's it? Thank you. Have you thought about it? Why do you even want to judge me? Why do you hate your ex? Why do you hate your past? Was it too colorful? Was it too bad? What good has it done for you or to you? I tell you what holding on to our past does to us. Very simple. Remember I said that your emotions are the languages to your body. Your thoughts are the languages to your mind or brain. But let's speak about the emotions. Every time when your body speaks to you, it's through your emotions. I'm going to spend a little bit time speaking about emotion, I think until on Wednesday, before I show you that lack of emotional intelligence tends to make you subject to energy vampires. Every time when you feel zapped, every time when you feel tired, every time when you feel quote-unquote depressed, there is something that is feeding from your energy. Otherwise, you'll be whole. Whole, if you go to the Oxford Dictionary, whole also means healing. When you heal, you become whole. And when you become whole, you become like a circle. When you become like a circle, you become at 360 degrees. You become 9, number completion. Voila. Let me show you how emotions can make you and I sick. Deep introspection and forces them to realize. Hey man, that's why they call it shadow work, I think. You know, they call it the shadow work mainly because the shadow is dark. The shadow is like this. Sometimes when you walk into your mind or when you do meditation, it's like this. Your past is like, what were you saying? Are you serious about this healing business? Then what you do, the more and more you do it, the more and more you do it, you start doing this. You start putting in the light. You see, this is the dimmest. You start putting in the light. It starts becoming bright. It starts becoming bright. It starts becoming bright. It starts becoming bright. And all of a sudden, let there be light. But not everybody is prepared to walk into the darkness, you know. And mainly the darkness, one of the things that why people detest doing the shadow work, the universe separates you from people. I don't know how it does it, but it systematically does it. It separates you from people, from your partners, your relationships, your work. All of a sudden, people look at you like you stink. You don't make sense, even to yourself. And now your universe starts breaking apart systematically. By the way, this is the alchemical concept. I don't know if you've heard about the science of alchemy. Alchemy was a higher science of the Egyptians. Alchemy, it's a story of, or it's a process of changing something from the lower state to the higher state, from negative to positive, from lead to gold. So what you're doing is, why was I talking about this? Oh yeah, when you're going through the most difficult period of your life, particularly if you said, fuck it, I want to heal myself. The world now starts changing for you. You start becoming the enemy because now you're no longer becoming subject to your laden thoughts. You are waking up. So now when you wake up, your world starts falling apart. That process, according to the Egyptians, alchemical science, used to be called Negredo stage. It's a blackening stage. Everything gets dark around you. You're going through what they call a cocoon phase. You are now transforming from the butterfly, from the caterpillar to a butterfly. This is just a mythological story. Doesn't necessarily mean like you're becoming a butterfly. You know. But then if you want to become a butterfly, why not? Who am I to stop you? Because you still have that ability. So you transmute the energy. So if you're going through the toughest part of your period, you could be going through the blackening stage. Slow down. Breathe. Nobody's punishing you. I know you want to say that somebody's punishing you, but nobody's punishing you. God is not there. Your ancestors are not there. Your mom is not there. Your father is not there. If there's any punishment that is happening, it's your thoughts. I know this sounds so crazy. You're probably sitting there and thinking, who the fuck does he think he is? You know, to tell me that my problems don't exist. I'm not saying they don't exist, but the more and more you think about them, you're magnifying them. You're managing the calmness. Sometimes the calmness can be very noisy. But then, still have like 12 minutes. Then what happens is, the more and more you do the shadow work, the more and more you forgive yourself, the more and more you start introducing the light inside of yourself. If you're looking for peace, let me tell you the bestest place to get the peace. If you're looking for peace, if you're looking for harmony, if you're looking for love, you know, I'll tell you the best place. Your heart. That's where the whole shit is. I mentioned your heart relative to the emotions because emotions are the proponents of the heart. The heart is the proponents of the emotions. Why do you think when you're angry, your blood is... You feel like... Ugh. This is what happens when you get angry, if there's such a state. You're looking at the situation. Let me say your partner wants to start an argument, which is very pertinent. You're probably in the midst of it, or you're going to go to it, or you're done with it. Let me say you get into an argument, you and your partner, right? Let me say you're arguing about the children, or you're arguing about the money. Now, the moment when you pick up, there is something that happens in you. Your blood starts thinning up. You start getting warmed up. What happens inside of yourself, your body is going through chemical changes. Anger diffuses your blood, increases the blood pressure, it dilates your eyes, you become alert. All because of an emotion. all of a sudden, if you maintain that state of anger, you start blackening out. Have you ever heard somebody saying, especially you'll hear this a lot if you study a lot of criminal files, they'll tell you that, I don't know what happened, I just blacked out. Yeah, you blacked out for real because your whole internal atmosphere was overtaken by toxic hormones you manufactured by anger. Two of the hormones are responsible, cortisol and adrenaline. They can be triggered just by an emotion. You start thinking about your past 15 years ago and your blood starts running. You're experiencing exactly what you went through when you were going through that 17 years or 15 years ago. Let the shit go. What has it done for you? You dying. We dying daily. We dying daily because all of us, we carrying the ego or the so-called false self that plays like the true self. That's why we hate one another like this. Look at us. Look where we are. I mean, like with this that we're talking about, I should be viral by now, but I mean, look at how many people are in here. But now, if I was to speak about me getting naked and showing out my private parts, I think I'll get 1.1 million likes. But now we're trying to speak about, or finding a solution to this thing as to how can we leave. People are not interested in this shit. They'll be like, psh, there goes one of those chakra hunts. Oh, plus this one looks funny. Look how dark he is. Look at his teeth. Who'd listen to somebody like him? I know I won't. Shadow walk ain't for the fainted heart. That dark night of the... Hey man! Fight or flight response. Now you frozen. You freeze. You die. We've been given emotions to get in touch with the universe. We've been given emotion to hear what the universe is saying. Oh, the universe is you, the body. You are the kingdom of God, right? Got that? I don't know, am I speaking to the right people here? You know, maybe perhaps I'm saying something here and people are like, oh, blasphemy, blasphemy. Master Siwa, thank you very much for the necklace. I really, really appreciate it. Speaking of which, if you wanna donate to the platform, you can do that. If you wanna support us on this journey that we are on, if it's a journey, you can do that. There's some of the people that have remained supportive, especially when I'm quiet, you know. Because some days I just feel like I don't want to be doing anything. So some people have been showing up, helping the brother there and there. And I really, really appreciate it, you know. For the people that have been following the brother here, if you're listening to me for the first time and you kind of like what we're talking about, follow the brother, subscribe to the channel. You can join in the WhatsApp group where we're sharing books, details, suggestions. Like a smaller family there, 150 plus, it's not a lot. This is basically just to inspire the, I wouldn't really say art, but I'll call it a culture of learning, you know. We need to start learning, paying attention, and listening to ourselves more, man. I actually thought I was going to read a book. Let me read something. How much time I have? 7 minutes. Let me read something. Who's still here? Kimaba don't do me this around. No, don't for chilled. Shapatafo. I want to read something here. I know a lot of people are probably saying, no, bruh, some of these things that you're talking about, this is just your own shit, man. Show us something. I'm going to show you guys something. I just want to bookmark my book here. Okay. I'm going to be reading from a very interesting book. I'm probably getting ahead of myself here, but I'm doing this deliberately because there's something that I just want to drive home here so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. Because in as much as I can speak here, I can be here and try to drop some signs, tell you how great you are, your problems are still waiting for you like this. They're like, we just cannot wait for that life to end. We're just waiting for you like this. It's like when you are at church, your problems are always waiting for you by the parking lodge. But the more and more you learn about them, the more and more you become the observer, the more and more you look at them, they start changing. It's a very funny thing. If you change the way how you look at things, what you're looking at starts changing. So basically the whole world, it's your perception. What do you feel about the world? Do you feel it's dangerous? It's probably because you've been watching too much TV, listening to too much news, because that's what they talk about. Somebody died. Somebody's about to die. Somebody's sick. Where is this thing, man? I'm gonna have to find it. I cannot. Hey, Candy Mo, thank you very much for for that. Yeah, I think I found it. So if you're here for the first time, please follow the brother. I want to read something here before I leave. 4 minutes. Yeah, I found it. I'm reading from the book here. The name of the book is Fringe Knowledge. Fringe Knowledge is the book by Montauk. If you want a book, send me a WhatsApp or get into the WhatsApp group that I have, because I think I'm going to share it in there. Because we're speaking about this book the whole week. Just a small book, 120 pages, but it will blow your mind. Listen to what he says here, page 50. The title is Energy Farm. Remember I told you that somebody's feeding from you. Listen to this. Just as we farm crops and livestock for food and clothing, so do negative forces farm humans and other sentient beings for soul, energy, and biological material. Let me read that again. Just as we farm crops and livestock for food and clothing, so do negative forces farm humans and other sentient beings for soul, energy, and biological material. You are food, brother. You are food, sister. So long as you're not aware what's happening with your emotions, somebody's having a buffet. You know, especially when you're too angry. Have you ever realized? Have you ever realized that after fighting, it's always so messy? You're always so tired. It's because something has been feeding from you. But the more and more you love, the more and more you forgive, the more and more you give, the more and more you become peaceful, the more and more you try to be calm, the more and more you cultivate your emotional intelligence, you can account for your energy. Where the fuck does my energy go? Why do I need to fight that person? Why do I need to argue with them? Why not I say, because everybody likes to be right, right? Everybody likes being right. Have you tried doing this? Don't argue with anybody. If they say this causes that, say yes. If they say this doesn't cause that, say yes. They are right, according to them. But now you arguing with them, you might lose, because we probably have had conversations here where like you and I, we probably had a conversation with somebody who doesn't want to change their belief. Somebody that will tell you that heaven exists and heaven is out there. We're going to heaven when we die. But now you don't understand that heaven and hell are nothing but the state of mind. You try to tell them, hey, listen here, you are in heaven. But now you are in hell because you are in a low state of being. Your emotions, when they're low, you are in hell. Like it or not. You can't be depressed and say you are in heaven. That's not right. So when you're feeling depressed, you're obviously in hell. But now, when you're feeling elated, excited, where are you? You are in heaven. That's what the whole business is all about. But now, you've been sold an idea that somebody's waiting for you on the other side. Just waiting for you to come. Come, my child. You know? Hey, man. Hey, they must just leave me alone. You see these ones. And by the way, I'm not having anything personal against Christians. My wife is a Christian. It's just that I like teasing them, you know. Because Christians, they have this belief that God is only their God, you know. Nobody else can speak about God like that. Especially drinking whatever that you're drinking. It's so wrong. But now, I do understand that a belief is something that is subject to change. A whole lot amount of us, we are into beliefs that we don't even know how we got them. Like now, you favoring pirates or favor chiefs. You didn't really have a say in that decision, did you? Did you and your parents sit down and say, CD, so listen here. Your mom goes for pirates and I go for chiefs. You better choose, bro. No, what you did is you looked at them doing it and you took it from them. So it wrote itself in your cells. It became a belief. A lot of our beliefs, if we were to sit down and look at them, they actually fucked up. They fucked up. But nobody's willing to accept it because we are busy trying to defend beliefs here. God is this. Ancestors are this. You may join. I said that you just joined. Lolo, thank you very much for that. But nonetheless, I'm out of here. You can follow the brother. You can also like some of my videos. Please go check out my YouTube. And when you get to YouTube, even if you don't listen to my YouTube, just subscribe. You know. And but it will be nice if you were to listen, of course. You can share them. You can comment on them. You can like them. Apparently, it picks up the volume. And if you want to contribute or donate to the channel, my numbers are right here on the platform. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm still continuing with emotions. I'm going to be in early hours of the morning. I'd say around about like 9 or 10 o'clock. Then I'm going to be doing it again 6 o'clock in the evening. Thank you. Pac-Man says thank you as well.